I am the current UJ Civil Chairperson and currently doing final year Civil Engineering at UJ, which has been 4 years, it's turned into the best 6 years of my life.
So the award ceremony just happened, and right next to me I have Dr. Ferentino, who is the HOD of Civil Engineering. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Okay, so this event was well planned. So what does this mean for students who are sitting back home?
I think it's quite an important event for the students to be here in this event and communicate with people from the industry and have a more pragmatic overview of what is going to happen in their life in a few years' time.
And then lastly, what message do you have for a student who is sitting back home and has just started studying for civil engineering, but they feel like they want to give up on their dream, but they know that their passion lies in civil engineering? So what motivation do you have for them?
To study hard, work very hard, love what they do, because if they don't love it, they're not going to do it, perfectly. And there are great opportunities out there, but they have to be from now focused, disciplined, and love their job. They're as a student now.
Thank you so much, and that's it. We have it from Mrs. Ferentino, who is the HOD of Civil Engineering at the University of Johannesburg, and this event was well planned. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Right next to me, I'm standing next to Mr. Pillay, who is the CEO of SAICI, which is the South African Institute of Civil Engineering. And during your talk, sir, you talked mainly about students and the focus on students. What is SAICI specifically doing for students, especially those for the University of Johannesburg?
Well, I think there's a SAICI student chapter there. What's missing in our industry is a culture of engineering. And the first thing that students get is an establishment into a culture of civil engineering. Who are the leading companies, who are the leading contractors to engage in? What does it mean to be a civil engineering professional? What is the ethos? What are the behavioral expectations of a civil engineering practitioner? So we try and install those kind of attributes into students. What UJ should be proud of is that you've got a group of young people who will become leaders in society later, and they're showing that leadership ability now by coordinating events like this that they are going to use to fund international travel, as opposed to saying we can't do anything, there's no opportunity, there's no money, so that's what leadership is made up of.
Right now I'm joined by Mr. Janssen from Intra Consult, and they're the biggest sponsor for this event. Mr. Janssen, good evening.
Good evening, how are you doing?
Good, thanks on yourself. So I hear that you're the biggest sponsor for this event. Why specifically this event?
Look, I think this is a worthy cause for the students, as you've heard earlier, as part of the speech that Mr. Maglan Pillay did. The students, with the help of the sponsorship and the money that they make here tonight and during this whole activity today, they're going on an educational trip to India. So for me, I'm passionate about young people going out there, conquering their circumstances and conquering the world. So in a nutshell, that is why we are involved and what makes us passionate about the whole initiative.
And finally, I found Mr. Kruger, and he's been with UJ Civils, I could say the father of it, for more than 30 years and still hands-on, as we could see him during the evening. Mr. Kruger, good evening.
Good evening. Nice to see you.
Same here. So I've been here since the whole day, from the morning, playing golf, and now even the awards ceremony. Why is UJ Civils still continuing with this, and why are you still part of it after 30 years?
Well, I think the big thing is that what we really enjoy is to feel the dynamics of youth, because those are the leaders of the country and of the future, and getting them involved in these things and organizing, and then using that to travel abroad and experience different cultures and different opportunities. That's just amazing, and I think that's a driver that makes everybody so excited, and even the industry, everybody is so excited because of what's happening.
And then I'd like to find out, what is your actual role or involvement into UJ Civils? Because I can see you hands-on. One could say that I think that Mr. Kruger should be sitting on the side, but you seem like a very hands-on person and actually very passionate about UJ Civils and students and opening up the industry to them.
That's true. You know, I think the passion and the motivation that comes from being involved is something that you carry on to your students. And they see that you're involved, you're passionate, they become that as well. And that's something that needs to be grown amongst our young engineers and South Africans in general, I guess. And that really drives me, and that makes me passionate, and I think that makes our students passionate. And that is why the whole thing for over 30 years have been a success. It's just been growing, and the industry loves that, and our sponsors come to the party, and that is really the result of this driving passion that we've got.
Okay, and then lastly, any words of wisdom for a student who is sitting at home and actually studying engineering, and they feel like, you know what, I feel like I'm going to give up on this and I'm going to go for a different path or a route. Why should they still be with engineering?
That's a very good question, because very often they sit there and they're just focusing on the textbook and the mathematics and the physics, and they forget that in fact it's a big interactive environment. When they get involved in these sort of things and they meet with industry and students who have, or people who have graduated years or 2 years or 3 years or 10 years ago, and they realize, but hang on, I'm part of this growing family of engineers that can make a difference. And that is really the benefit of students being involved in these things, not just sitting there studying from a book, but interacting and really growing as a person. And I think that is really making it such a success.
Okay, thank you so much, Kruger, Mr. Kruger, for your time, and I'm hoping more success, more years, maybe over 6 years, still part of UJ Civils. And yeah, job well done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.